Hi, everyone.
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome back to another episode of the Adult Deck
Hey,
podcast. I am here. I'm your host, Ronnie Scott.
hey.
And I'm here with my husband and co host, Mr. Peter Scott.
Will this intro ever go smoothly?
No, never.
Okay.
And we are the host of the Adult Deck podcast, the place where you come learn how to stack your cards against the game of life. And we are getting ready to kick off our marriage series.
Yeah.
This season, like I said before, I kind of want to focus more on people's stories. So the next couple of episodes that we are going to do, or that you all are going to see, are going to be a couple of different couples just telling their different love stories, some of the struggles that they've had, how they've overcome those struggles, and just celebrating love and celebrating life and celebrating all those good things that we have to offer.
Yeah. Those interviews were fun. They're good. They're great.
Right?
It's gonna be great, y'all. I think y'all definitely like it.
Yes, I hope so. I like it, so that's good enough for me. So we would be remiss, I think that's the right word. We would be foolish
We need
to,
a word of the day calendar, y'all.
yeah, probably. Or just like a random word counter. We would be not good host if we introduced you into a marriage series or a love couples series without even going through our love story and talking to you all about that. So that's what we're going to get into today.
It's been a while since I talked about that.
Has it?
It's been a while since we told our story. I think it has.
So Peter,
What's up?
go ahead and take us down memory lane. Start us off in our love story.
Okay. Well, our love story began in high school in 10th grade in science
Babies.
class. Our seatmates were trying to get us together, so we ended up submitting to their decisions for our lives.
Twins.
And we started talking, and then, through notes, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes, and that was a lovely 2-3 weeks.
Definitely.
And
What a whirlwind romance in those 2-3 weeks.
then we weren't dating.
We broke up over Christmas break. So like before everybody broke for Christmas break, we were like all lovey-dovey, all over each other, walking down the hallway, holding hands.
She didn't give me a gift, so I had to cut it off. Hey, you started over, so
I did it.
I had to make up a new story.
You're right. You don't think of a new story. Okay. Yeah, so before Christmas break, we were all lovey-dovey, and then like afterwards we just like didn't say anything to each other, avoided eye contact, like it was just like
But our teacher wasn't having it and put us in the same like group after we came back to school after the holiday break.
for a
so
science project.
kind of had to deal with it.
So while we were in that group, of course, it took us out of our shell. It took us out of our disagreement error.
Our distance, yeah.
Our distance.
It
It
closed
closed the distance. That's what I was looking for. So working together, having to complete this class project, it closed the distance between us. And I kind of sort of realized that Peter was a really cool person, just in general. I mean, I knew he was a cool person. I wouldn't have agreed to be his girlfriend if he wasn't. But afterwards, we kind of like worked through that and was just like, all right, I can stand to be around you again. You're pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Started talking and conversing.
Yes.
And then she started dating somebody else, and I stopped talking to her.
I was about to say,
Giving
however,
her space.
pretty shortly after we got back to school and all that started working out, I got into another relationship with, I was trying to think of a cool nickname, but with another person at the time. We'll call him Boyfriend B. So
Boyfriend T. Okay, guess not. Guess I got too close to home.
okay, Boyfriend T. We'll go with that. So me and Boyfriend T were together for a good little while. We started dating in January, and then, like I said, because I was in a relationship and Peter wanted to respect that, we kind of like slowed down on our talking. We didn't talk as often. until I up and moved in April.
Just left her whole friends and career in high school behind.
Everything. It was not my choice.
Yes, she was. She wanted to go live with her grandma.
It was not my choice.
Mama, I hate you. I'm gonna live with grandma.
It was not my choice. My mother was the one who moved.
I understand.
See, y'all don't listen to Peter.
Her.
Exactly. Don't. He will have y'all thinking that a story is completely off in left field when that's not what it was.
I'm a great liar. It's a bad habit, but I'm good at it.
So in April, I up and moved to North Carolina. And around that time, I was going through so much. Like I said, between being a 16-year-old and having your entire life, community, everything just flipped upside down. So me and boyfriend T were together from April until January again. We ended up breaking up a couple of days before our 1-year anniversary. And coincidentally, right after that, I feel like Peter started popping up literally on all my social media. Like, I felt like social media was the only way that I can keep in contact with the people that I grew up with, essentially. So, of course, like, that's one of the beauties of social media, I guess, just being able to keep in contact with people.
Keep connected, stay connected, keep up with people and what they doing.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you decided to keep up with me and what I was doing.
Did I? I think I did.
I thought so.
I mean, I wasn't watching her like she was watching me. But, yeah, I had to dive in every couple weeks.
Every couple weeks.
See, hey, what white dude she dating today? Ah, okay. Somebody on the volleyball team.
Wow. That was the baseball team.
Baseball. That's right. See, I wasn't wrong. She corrected me.
So that was like, so what would that be? January of my
She's really breaking this timeline down.
Yeah, because it's been a heck of a long time.
I'm just giving roundabouts.
So January of my junior year of high school, I was single again, single and ready to mingle. So I was talking to folks, ready to go. But of course, this guy had a girlfriend at the time.
I mean, she the one that left. Yeah, so I was in I think it was 2.5 year relationship. That went on to be 2.5 years of relationship. But yeah, I was with somebody at the time, 11th and 12th grade. So Ronnie, being the lovely person she is, didn't care.
I didn't. I was ruthless at that point in time. I was like, I would ask him about how his girlfriend was doing, and then being like, "So you want to see my boobs?"
Unlike me, who gave her space and let her pursue this very complicated relationship she had going on. That's a funny story if y'all ever want to go one-on-one. But yeah, I was in this 2-year relationship. I was on cloud 9.
Absolutely. He was in love with old shorty.
Hey, man, when you go to church your whole life, you kind of know what love is, and you kind of want to express that love and give that love to other people. But not everybody has the same type of love you have. So I had to learn that the hard way. So that gone into 11th grade, 12th grade, almost the first semester of my college year.
Yeah, it was. Closely into the second. So again, around this time,
I probably have a bad, like, it's funny now that I'm thinking about it, because I think my longest relationships either started or ended around the winter break. So
both. Sheesh.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that is weird. It's something about that cold weather.
Ended that with that girlfriend around Christmas. Yeah, I got my mama's van and left. Stole my mom's car and went back to school. She's never gonna let me live it down.
No.
Yeah. So we broke up around then. A lot of issues. So in love, I got engaged. She's probably not gonna let this go by without me saying that.
I am never going to let him live this down. Never, because I think it's
so. I proposed.
Hilarious.
She said yes, but
it clearly didn't work out.
Didn't work. That is not who is here now. So there's that. And another funny part, well, not funny. I don't find it funny. Sharon laughs at it all the time. I thought it was cruel and unusual. When we did break up.
Oh, yeah. This is the part I couldn't wait to tell.
Me and Sharon were talking.
We had leveled up our friendship to the best friend level.
Yes.
But it was also, like, I was single at the time Peter was in a
she ain't respecting
relationship. I did not.
I didn't really force those boundaries either.
He did not.
So there's probably that's why too. Takes two to tangle, as they say.
Yeah. Pause. Let me rephrase it. Let me preface this by saying I do not encourage the behavior that I exhibited back in my day. But yeah, like that whole period from like 17 to 19.
That was her hot girl year.
I was wilding. And
2 years. Hot girl 2 years.
I was wilding. I was. Like, I was going to say something, but we'll save that for the Patreon because that's a little spicy. So yeah, I did not really respect too many boundaries. And Peter being my best friend, while that friendship was definitely there, it was also, I also used Peter as to whenever I was feeling like low self-esteem, like down on myself, whatever, I'd be like, don't you think I'm pretty? You wanna video chat with me later on today? So there was, while the friendship was 110% real, there was also that level of...
There was a lot of flirting going on.
There was a lot of flirtation going on throughout not majority, but some of our friendship.
And I was the one in the relationship, so if you're going to blame somebody, it's technically my fault for allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
But also my best friend didn't make it easy.
Nah. Because I knew whole hand.
So yeah, we broke up, and me in my distraught tears and heartbreakenness wanted to confide in somebody. And who else are you gonna call other than your best friend when you need somebody, a shoulder to? Yeah, she's not the one.
Okay. So, this was April of my...
She ain't the one.
Shut up. This is April of my... So, this is sophomore year. The end of our sophomore year in college. It was my birthday weekend. I had just came back from having a grand old time. I was drunk as a skunk, walking back across campus, chilling. Like, and that's the thing about being the mom of the group, like the mom of your friend group. You get drunk and you walk home by yourself. Not that that's a bad thing. I felt very safe. I could have called security. But I was walking back home by myself and my phone rings. I'm like, oh, my best friend's calling me. What's up, son? And dude is in tears.
Instead of telling me, hey, I feel where you're coming from, but I'm not in the right mind to accept your feelings right now. Nah.
Drunk mind speaks sober thoughts. So I was like...
It doesn't get wrapped up in a pretty package, though.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. So Peter was calling. He was upset, sad, distraught about this breakup. He was really, just really wanted to confide in, really wanted somebody to talk to. And I'm just like, stop acting like a hoe. Get yourself together, bruh. You are way better than this. You a heck of a lot better than her. Like, for everything that I heard about her was not good things. Everything that I've seen throughout y'all relationship was not good. You need to suck it up and stop being a female.
Granted, tough love was needed. It's just I wasn't in a place to accept it at the moment.
But you did.
I really had no choice. You were drunk. I was like, okay.
But did it work? Did you not feel better afterwards? If you didn't, I will take that back and I will not bring up this story ever again.
I felt better, yes, but in the moment, it wasn't great.
So that phone call is really what I think ignited our
it was a slow
actual
burn.
Serious flame. Yeah, it was a slow burn. Like, now that I'm really thinking about it.
If we put out the timetable, it was kind of a slow burn.
It was definitely a slow burn. But April of our sophomore year at college, Peter had broken up. So we were still talking every now and then.
It's been a 3-year relationship. I'm not great with time or timetables. So I'm gonna just let her keep going. Go ahead.
So, so, me and Peter were talking, and it was so weird. I remember one night vividly because I had a program with my roommates. It was the end of the school year. Not my roommates, my residents. I was an RA. And towards the end of the school year, I had set us up so that we could have a sleepover. Everybody come right before finals week, relax, get yourself together, chill out. And me and two of my residents at the time, who are now coincidentally my best friends, the three of us like stayed in the common area and slept overnight. Whole time I'm texting Peter and I'm like, yo, like, I feel like if we were to ever, you know, get into a relationship, we would jump straight to marriage because I already know everything there is to know about you and all this other stuff. And if we had kids, they would be the coolest kids in the world. And for lack of better term, I was a fuckboy heavy back in those days. But I was saying all this stuff, and we were talking, and we were talking, I guess, from April until that
Christmas.
August. August is when we went on our first date.
Was it our first date? Or
it was our first date.
The first time I took you out, as in courting. Because I don't think.
Explain the difference. It was a date.
It was a date.
But no, okay, sorry, that came off a little aggressive. So when you're courting somebody and you take them out, is that not a date?
Yes, it's a date.
Okay then.
I had to talk it through.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So this is our first date. Our first date was in August. Now, up until this point, Peter never explicitly told me that he was courting me for a relationship.
I didn't think I had to. I mean, paperwork. Paper trail.
I was oblivious. So we were going out. She was
still in her fuckboy mindset, so she wasn't in the place to accept it.
Not until the end of that date, because it switched real quick. So all throughout the date, everything leading up to it, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going out with my homie. Like, we got to go to the movies.
Oh, you saw that button, right? Whack.
I was like, we're about to go to the movies. We're going to hang out. Sister? Nah, that was the date. One? That was the night you asked me to be your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, the skate. Okay. We went to dinner first and this.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So we were we were going to the movies. We went to see the Wolverine. And yeah, I remember.
It's been a while, y'all.
So after the movie, we went to see a late movie. It was like 10.
That's when I had the minivan and you lived in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was late.
It was late. So we were gonna go out to dinner after the movie. Every place was closed, so we ended up going to Arby's. And then I was like, all right, let me pull out my wallet and pay for my meal. And he legitimately like smacked my wallet out of my hand. I was like, what are you doing? I was like,
Whether we're on a date or not, I'm your best friend. The heck? Really?
I was told to always take care of myself. My grandma always told me, make sure you got enough money in your purse for you at the end of the day.
I'm going to teach my daughter to take advantage of whatever situation you give her. If you don't got to spend your own money, don't. Okay?
Safety factor. So he goes to drop me off at home. And I'm like, all right, getting out the car, getting my stuff together. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm out. Comes around the back of the van. And like, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going in for a hug. He went in for a kiss. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's what we're doing? I'm all for it. Let's go.
She's the loud, abrasive one. I'm the more one of action. So she will talk a good game. I will play the game.
Definitely. 110%. And he played that game well. Greeted my hug with a kiss in the mouth. And I was head over heels ever since. I was like, all right. Because, like, again, this has been the person, like, we've been talking forever. We have been exchanging items forever. Like, it just seemed... It was like at that moment, like it clicked where it was just like, oh, all right.
Best friend call him to boyfriend call him.
Definitely. Very seamlessly. So after that, we continued to go out on dates.
Nothing was official yet,
Nothing was official. We weren't
For
boyfriend and
me,
girlfriend.
I wanted to go slower. She is my best friend. Didn't want to ruin that relationship. And I just got out of, didn't just get out, but I got out of a long relationship and wasn't really, I guess I wasn't thinking about going back into another long relationship, but I also don't do short relationships either. Like, it's kind of funny.
You also, like, so we were talking for a while, going out on dates. I think that was the year you stayed home from college.
Yes, so I had to come back from school, money, black people stuff. Went to PG Community College. So yeah, I was home. She was not. She was home for the holiday. So I took advantage of that. I mean, you're home, might as well.
Yeah, every time I came home for a weekend, we hung out, went on a date.
So time went on.
December.
Yes, December came, and I don't think we had a date planned for that month, but since we also wasn't in a relationship and we still had our best friend relationship going, I knew I had competition.
Oh, I forgot about that part of the story.
I knew I had competition.
Yes.
And it's funny because the dude is like a great friend of mine.
Fantastic.
And he's a great dude.
He's such a nice person. Like, just great person.
I wouldn't have been mad, to be honest. Like,
but
I wouldn't have. But I had competition.
I was
like,
if
I'm going to make this work and really go for it, I got to make a move, like, very soon.
Yesterday.
So.
Sorry. Pause. Just for context, also. So while I was talking to, while I was talking to the two gentlemen in my life at the time, I wanted to be very, I was at the point where I was ready for a relationship.
She was done with her F-boy phase.
So, like, both of them, I was like, all right, guys, what's up? Like, can one of y'all make a move?
She group
do
chatted
something?
us.
I did not group chat.
Was like, hey guys, find it out.
Shut up. I did not group chat. That would have been a fantastic idea. But knowing the other guy, he would have been like, it's all you, man.
I was like, no, man, it's all you. You were go ahead. We the two type of niggas that will open the door for each other. We're like, no, you go first. No, you go first. No, come on, man, go ahead.
Literally. So with both of them, I was just like, all right, y'all, like, somebody gotta make a move. I wasn't as clear in what I said to the other guy because we didn't have as much history. But with Peter, I was like, all right, fam, so I'm ready for a relationship. What you trying to do? And this was November. I was like, what you trying to do? Because I can go
December, because as soon as she told me that, I was like, all right, we're going out.
Really?
It had to have been December because it wasn't that long until we had our next date.
Oh, true. Maybe. Maybe it was like beginning of December. So I was like, dude, you got to figure something out. I'm not going to stay here and waiting in the wings. I'm trying to move forward with my life. So I just had to bring that in for context.
So yeah, she told me that, and I was like, all right, if I'm going to make this work, then I can't be the type of guy who let the things happen in another relationship and stay quiet about it. So I had to be a little more abrasive, and if anybody knows, assertive. And if anybody knows me, that is not my cup of tea.
At all.
But
at all.
Apparently she's worth it.
Wow. Apparently.
But yeah, so I asked her out. We went ice skating after Christmas. Mm-hmm. So 27th?
27th. Oh, yes. It was the 27th. That was also the year, like I said, I be going through a lot. That was also the year my grandfather had died. So that Christmas, that's why we didn't go out on Christmas, because I was in North Carolina visiting my grandmother.
We would have went out on Christmas.
I mean,
I wasn't.
He had to wait until I came back, which is why it was on the 27th.
What she said. I also think she wasn't going to say yes to me until I met her sister. So it was a double date with her sister and whatever guy she was with at the moment. Yeah. And we were putting on our skates. Mm-hmm. Or was it after?
We were after.
So we were going home.
No. Wait. I'll take over this part. Your memory, I love you.
I told you, it's been a while.
So the night Peter asked me to be his girlfriend, We were skating, and it was like right in the middle of like, it was after we had put skates on. My sister and her friend were out on the ice, and it was just me and Peter sitting like off on the side of the rink by ourselves. And
I
then
was young, strapping,
you still are strapping.
had a good back, could skate.
Man, look, when I tell you this nigga got out on the ice and was like Christy Yamaguchi, just like, shoot.
I don't know who that is.
I was like, she's a famous ice skater.
I mean, I get the context.
But yeah, he was like out there, and I was like, we don't ice skate. Like,
A lot of things I do that we don't do.
Yeah, I didn't know how to ice skate at all. So we were off to the side, outside of the rink, just us two chilling. And he was like, I can still see it. It makes me giddy every time I think about it. And Peter was like, so when I go home tonight and my mom asked me who I was out with, how would you feel if I said my girlfriend?
Oh, yeah. That was smooth.
That was smooth as shit. That is what I was like, yeah, sure.
That was smooth.
That was
I
real
gotta go
smooth.
back in time and give young people some dap, man. That was dope, dude.
It was smooth. And I was like, I mean, depends on where you're going after this. And he was like, I'm going home after this. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm good with that. just had to clear that up. Just make sure you wasn't gonna stop by somewhere else. Because my mental, I was like, anyway. So Peter was like, yeah, I'm going straight home after this. And I was like, oh, okay, then yeah, I'm cool with that. And thus the relationship started.
Yeah. Relationship started. And was long distance at first. There was a lot of driving back and forth, going to her school and,
Yes.
you know, spending the weekend and her coming home on the holidays. So yeah, that was how it was for 3 more years? 2 more years? Yeah, 2 years.
2 more years. We started dating in 2013. That even sounds weird to say now that we're in 2021. We started dating in 2013, December of 2013. So around about 2 years.
I graduated.
I graduated May of 2015 from college. And yeah, so we were long distance for a while. And of course that had its own challenges. I feel like a good amount of our relationship is me being like, I want this. And then Peter being like, but I don't do that. And I'd be like, okay, but I want it, so get it done. So like,
She's still here, right? See how that turned out.
because you get it done. Like, I was the person who made Peter make a Snapchat. He was not on Snapchat before I did. And later on down the line, I was like, shit. So 2015, I'm trying not to keep y'all here forever, but we have a long history and a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah, being transparent, Snapchat was an incident. There was no... I cheated. And it was more so me not letting go of the past and worrying about things repeating itself. So wanted to have
A
safety net.
Safety net. So
And
he kept some hoes around for his safety net.
And I couldn't.
We were a good... So...
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years... Well... no.
No?
So, Okay. So, we were long distance for a while until I graduated. Afterwards, I came home. We were good until around 2017. 2017, I started having issues in my household. And I ended up moving in with Peter and his family. However, literally a couple of days after I moved in, I wasn't snooping. I was actually looking to see if Peter had some pictures of me that I could look at for myself. And I ended up stumbling across pictures of somebody else.
Yeah.
I found out in 2017. Apparently, pictures have been exchanged since 2015. And that was almost the end of our relationship. If it wasn't for the fact that I had literally just moved out of my parents' house into the house of Peter, I would have left. I would have stopped talking, ghosting, because that's like, it was the ultimate disrespect for me. And not only that, it was like throughout our relationship, because of, you know, infidelity issues with other relationships, although they had been 4, 5, 6 years ago at this point. I always wanted to keep the communications open. So literally, I would always, like, every couple of weeks be like, hey, is there something you need to tell me? And he'd be like, no, straight up lying to my face. And I don't think it was a lie. I'm not going to say that. I feel like you didn't think it was specifically what I was asking. So I was like, is there anything you need to tell me? And that includes sharing pictures with people. But Peter, I'm not going to speak for him, but I speculate that Peter was just like, is there another person that I'm going to see and being physically intimate with?
Yeah, we had two different definitions of what cheating was. I think that was our biggest issue at the time. Because in my head, if it's not physical, then it's not really cheating. But
had to unlearn that real quick.
Yeah, pretty much. I did have to unlearn that. I had to... Emotions are a thing, and just because it's not physical doesn't mean it's not cheating. So yeah, that's something I had to learn, because ironically enough, like I said, she didn't respect boundaries when I was in a relationship.
No,
so
I didn't. And that was...
I kind of continued that for a while.
Yeah.
Until
I was like, it's me,
out.
so.
And like I said, I didn't want to ruin the friendship we had. And not only was the relationship in jeopardy, but the friendship was in jeopardy. So it wasn't something that I felt needed to be put in jeopardy. You can ask her as soon as the situation came up, made changes right
instantly
away.
And
I was
like still sitting there talking about it, tears on my face, and he's like, all right, block you, delete this, like everything.
I was like, okay, I get it, I hear you. I was treating this like it was another relationship. It's not cool. I will prove to you that I'm serious about this. And time went on, and I did. 3 more years later, I proposed to her at Thanksgiving.
Yes. Yes. And at that time, yes. He proposed Thanksgiving.
So she stuck around for 3 more years.
Because of the
Very
changed behavior. Because of changed behavior.
Yes, but grateful for that.
I'm going to say this about any relationship moving forward. I feel like you can come back from just about anything as long as there's changed behavior. If Peter did not change his behavior, if I find a picture today, I don't, this ring's coming off, I'm leaving. Like, we've already been through this. So changed behavior is the best apology to me. And that's really why I stuck around through it and continued to work through it. And like, it was rough for a while. I feel like we couldn't do anything for a minute without me feeling hurt by it, bringing up, being reminded of it, all that good stuff. But of course, as things move on and we've grown and healed, and like I said, that changed behavior is what prompted me to stick around or made me want to stick around. And then we ended up getting engaged in 2019. Got married.
It was 2018. We got married in 2019.
We got married. Yes. Sorry. Because I was
It
thinking.
was quick.
I know.
It wasn't that quick, right?
It wasn't that quick. It was a year. So we got engaged in 2018. Oh, sheesh. That makes it a lot closer. Because I moved in with y'all in 2017. And then the next May, we moved into my parents' house. And then you proposed while we were living at my parents' house. Yeah, 2018. Sheesh. It doesn't seem like that.
2 years later. Either way,
time moved on, and we got engaged.
Oh man, this is the most oblivious woman in the world.
Oh, again. So So for Thanksgiving, like I said, we had moved back into my parents' house. Peter's parents had some issues, and they had to move out of their house.
I didn't want to worry about me while they're looking for a new home. That makes things even more expensive. So I was like, I'll remove myself from the equation.
Mm-hmm. And by proxy, removed me from the situation. I forgot my train of thought.
Proposal.
Oh, yeah. So everybody was coming to my parents' house for Thanksgiving.
Everybody.
Peter's parents. And and now I'm thinking back on it.
For a week straight. Hey, you get your nails done? Hey, you gonna get your nails done?
Stop.
Hey, here's some money. Go get your nails done.
Even thinking back further than that, over the summer, we had went out with our couple friends. Mm-hmm. And they'll be on the podcast in a couple episodes, by the way. We went out with them to Iron Age, and we were talking about, because they had just got married, and we were like, so how are y'all gonna do things for the holidays now that y'all are married, yada yada. And then they were asking us what we were going to do, and Peter was like, oh, everybody's gonna be at Sharon's parents' house. And I was like, yeah, everybody's gonna be at my parents' house. Okay, cool. So that was back in July, somewhere before November. And then November comes around. So I'm sitting here, and I was one of those people who was like, look, don't propose to me if my nail's not done. I want to make sure everything is copacetic. So the whole week before, I'm stressing, because I'm like, I had figured that at some point in time, me and Peter were going to get married. So I was like, all right, these are my future in-laws. They come to my parents' house where I stay. I got to make sure everything's clean, make sure everything's cooked properly. So I was stressed that whole week trying to make sure everything was perfect. And Peter, every time I leave the house, is texting me, you get your nails done this week? You get your nails done this week? You get your nails done this week?
Thanksgiving's on Thursday. It was like, it's Wednesday today, and you still haven't got... Bruh.
I didn't know what was going on. So literally with my sister pulling up to the nail salon, I was like, I don't know why he keeps texting me this. I was pissed off.
I had to text Mo, please, before y'all get home. Please.
So,
I asked her parents' permission 3 months later, and I'm very surprised they kept that quiet.
Oh yeah. My mom don't keep nothing secret. So everything was going. We're all getting there. Everybody's there. We all eating. Everything's good. So my stepfather's like, all right, time to bless the food, everybody. So we all circle up. And then it's my stepfather, me, and then Peter.
She just messed up the whole thing.
I didn't mess up the whole thing.
The whole thing.
I didn't.
We were going around. It's prayer time before we eat. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to say what we're thankful for. That's how her dad set it up. So it was her dad, then her to the right. It was supposed to be her dad and then the person to the left. She was last for a reason. But no.
But it went the other way.
And so when it got to me, nobody else got to say anything, which, nobody really cared. We're here for a reason.
And I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to eat. So, my stepfather says what he's thankful for. I say what I'm thankful for. And then Peter starts going. And I promise you, we were sitting there. To me, it felt like 5-10 minutes of Peter just being Peter was just like, you held me down. We moved in together. You've been a constant throughout this whole year. I'm so grateful for you. So grateful for everything that you've done for me. All this other stuff. And in my head, I'm literally sitting there holding hands like, all right, can we wrap this up? We got a lot of people to go around this table for. So then Peter was like...
Well, she's cussing me out in her head. I'm taking a knee to propose. And she's like, why is his hand going up?
Oh, I really wish I could find a video. Because I was like, oh, it took 2 seconds to really realize what was going on. So Peter's down on one knee, he's like, will you marry me? And I'm like, yes, of course. Well, at first I was shocked and didn't say nothing.
And then my dad, hey, I'll punch you if you don't answer it.
So I was like, yes, of course. But I'm just like, it does not compute. So we got engaged, and sorry. if you are ever witnessing an engagement in person, let the shorty get herself together before you trying to take pictures. Because I had a full face of makeup on, makeup smudged and running because I'm crying. Everybody's like, let me get a picture. Let me see. And I'm just like, yo, like, here, don't look at me. Can I get a chance to get myself back together before we take a whole bunch of pictures? Like, let shorties get themselves together. All right.
Oblivious.
So, we were engaged for about a year. We got engaged November. Got married the following September 21st, 2019.
Been quarantined ever since.
Legitimately, we got ourselves together. We were feeling like, all right, cool. I was still working a full-time job. Peter was still working a full-time job. So we had a set routine. We were going. Everything was good. And then 2020 came around. And we were in a house. And I was like...
Yeah, like 2 weeks before Christmas, my job was like, don't expect to come back. I was like, great. I'm not complaining.
I was still...
Until we were still here 3 months later. I'm like...
I was starting to complain a little bit. So 2020 came around, and with that came all of its challenges, lessons,
and blessings.
We have had an abundance of blessings, but as far as us and our relationship, there was never a point where I was ready to walk out the door, but there was definitely a couple of times where I was like, all right, I'm gonna go stay with my mother for a couple days. Cause like, it was literally, again, our entire worldview switched upside down. So being quarantined together, being in a 1-bedroom apartment at that, there were a lot of challenges. I had to come to terms really quickly with how I had like expected my marriage to be versus what I really wanted it to be. For example, and it's stuff as simple as like cleaning and cooking and like traditional roles in the household. I wasn't really rocking with that. So it went from, me cooking, cleaning, doing all the typical. I say typical in a heavy quotation marks because I don't feel like anybody's marriage is typical. But going out, doing all those traditional things and being like, okay, I'm burnt out at the end of the day. Like, I'm trying to build a business, which was, again, another thing that we had to work through. But I was burnt out at the end of the day, and then it would, like, interfere with our sexy times. I was going to say intimate times, but, well, I mean, it did interfere with the intimate times, but intimacy is not necessarily sex. So it interfered with our sexual times because I was like, I'm here for it, but I'm also just like, if you want it, I'll give it. Not in a like, oh, no, here you go.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. So we have been working through a lot of things, and I mean everything as far as like how we communicate in general. We've had to relearn how to communicate. I am a very loud person. I am very passionate about everything that I talk about, everything that I do. Peter is not quite that way. He's nice and calm and doesn't like being yelled at, which
triggers
is my natural disposition because I'm loud and passionate about everything. So, like, we had to relearn, like, I had to practice that and practice not getting too loud while we're talking about stuff. I feel like... But I feel like I've been talking a lot. But 2020, literally, we got married and then got thrown into 2020 where it was like, all right.
Yeah, I'm going to think for a while until somebody tells us different that we probably went through 10 years of marriage issues and before the first year was done.
Yeah.
Just because people don't spend 24/7 with each other. People have routines. They go to work. They don't spend all day with each other. 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours at work. You probably got another 16 hours together.
Yeah.
And
If that.
If you have your own time doing something, probably less than that. So nobody's really used to spending 24 hours together. Mm-hmm. And for us, our previous routine was obviously needed. Because Sharon's an extrovert. She likes to be out with people. She likes to have fun. She likes to be around her family. And being shut down, you can't do that.
Can't go anywhere.
I'm the opposite. I don't like going anywhere. So this was kind of great for me. But I also like my own time. And I had none of that anymore.
No. Even with things, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in, but even with things as far as like how I like to read. So I like to read in silence. I like for it to be no sound, just me and my book, because I'm a very like vivid reader. I picture everything that's going on the page. It's kind of like I'm watching a movie in my head. So it's like I like to be immersed in whatever I'm reading. Peter, however,
I take on 20 sources at the same time.
Yes, like, and me, I don't even like too much sound. I get like overwhelmed when it's like, all right, the TV's on and Peter's playing the game on the TV with the sound on and YouTube's on and he's on a conference call, so that's going, and it's just like it's way too much stuff. So I don't like too many sounds. I don't like things very loud, which I know is ironic because I talk loud.
I'm the opposite. When I work, even when I was at work, I'm focusing on work, but I have headphones in, listening to my YouTube. So I have two things coming in at the same time, plus the background noise at work. I can't focus on one thing. My brain likes, look at me now. I'm talking about 12 different things at the same time. I can't focus on one thing unless I have other sources like pounding at me, because if I do try to focus on one thing and just that one thing, my mind will wander and I will not get anything done, and I will be looking at the same thing I was working on 4 hours later, and I'm like, why haven't I gotten anywhere? But when I'm listening to YouTube or music while I'm working, I can get 2 days of stuff done in 4 hours. So yeah, I will listen to YouTube, I will play my game at the same time, or don't ask me how I do this, I will listen to music and YouTube and read comics, and I'm getting everything. Like, you ask me about anything I was doing at the same, I can tell you individually what went on. That's just how I work. I have to have multiple sources at the same time, but she needs her quiet hours, so that means, at least for me, put your headphones on.
Mm-hmm. Headphones came in very handy.
We have a lot of headphones now.
But yeah, so it was even stuff as simple as that. Like I said, about us communicating. I'm loud and passionate and want to talk about everything. And Peter's like, okay, I'm here. Don't yell at me. I got it. I understand. And so between the, like I said, the chores around the house, like I said, I felt overwhelmed because, like, especially with everything going on with COVID, it's like you got a whole routine once you come. Like, I would go grocery shopping, come in, wash my hands, wipe my stuff down, put food away, wipe the bags down, separate the stuff that's going in the freezer, like all of this other stuff. And Peter wasn't necessarily, because I didn't share the intricacies of every single thing that I'm doing. Peter would just be like, all right, you went grocery shopping, you'll put it up, you'll clean, you'll wipe your stuff down, you'll do everything.
If you don't communicate, you don't know.
If you don't communicate, you don't know. So I had a very difficult time telling Peter that I was overwhelmed with everything that I had to do. And then once I actually told him about it, it was like, okay, cool. And he started picking up the slack. And to start to wrap this up, we, like Peter said, we went through what I feel like was 10 years of issues, of getting to know each other, of working through just our general preferences in a year.
Honestly, if we didn't do this now, we would have probably done this 20 years down the line when we're both retired and we have to be around it 24/7.
Yes.
And if you don't know old people, they ain't got patience. So one of us would have turned up missing real quick.
Look.
Like they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So while I'm young, teach me.
And I am.
And set me in my ways.
And I am. And I had to come out of my shell and not feel like I was being a burden talking about the things that were my issues. I
didn't make it easy because I don't like stress, and when I feel like I'm stressed, I kind of make a face. I kind of know that now.
But I had to tell you, you make a face. And even sometimes he'd be like, I'm not making a face. I'd be like, but like, I can see that you're visibly. And that's what, sorry, I got loud again. But that used to frustrate me the most about when we would be talking about stuff, because I have been trained to read nonverbal cues. My degree, I have a bachelor's in communication, every type of communication, verbal, nonverbal, different rhetoric, all that good stuff. So I'm reading everything, the words that are coming out of your mouth, the tone that they're coming out in, what your facial expressions are, what your body expressions are. I'm trained to read all of that stuff. So Peter would be like, no, I'm fine. Arms crossed. Like, you just like...
Look, I am fine. I was never upset at her. I was just like, I could be playing a game right now. But I'm here. I'm here for everything you're saying. I'm here for you. We're going to talk through this. Yes. I'm just like, dang, this is stressful. I could be playing a game right now. And it's just because I don't like stress. I don't like things on me. But I know that living with somebody else, you don't get what you want all the time.
No.
And that when there's something serious happening, that can be stressful. So it's like, I'm never going to turn her away. I'm never going to say I don't want to talk about this right now unless I really don't want to talk about it. But when it's something passionate to her that she feels like needs to be solved and she needs to get it off her chest, I'm always here for her. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't like being taken out of my routine.
And
that's my problem. It's routine. I'm very routine. So once you throw a wrench into that, I'm just like...
I'm just like, tossing shit out the toolbox. Here you go.
I'm just like, yeah, catch this, put this back, catch that, put that back. All right, we're still here. Okay, you got something else to throw at me? Let's go.
And I think that's just our motto for like everything that we've gone through this last year, everything that has cultivated up to us being married.
I'll go ahead and finish.
Oh, everything that's cultivated up to us being married is just like, I'm still here. Like, with me and my mental health struggles and my self-esteem struggles, I have to constantly tell myself that Peter's still here. At the end of the day, he's still here, regardless of how you view yourself or regardless of how you perceive things to happen. At the end of the day, he's still here. That shows commitment above anything else. So just because you're here means that we can work through all of our relationship struggles. Just because you're here means that, you know, you accept my body the way it is. Just because you wake up next to me every morning and you have decided to be here means that we can go through anything and we'll be good as long as we still are focused on being here at the end of the day.
But let me tell y'all something. If we moved on my schedule, we would have been done with this a long time ago. But that's also my problem. That's also something I'm learning. I'm impatient.
Wow, you admit that?
Okay. So, when we are in our moments, I'm just like, we will be great on the other side of this. I just want to get to the other side of this. Like, please.
I mean, I don't talk.
So that's also contributes to my face because I'm just like, all right, I'm done here. I kind of said what I had to say, but she's not. And I'm not going to rush her through this because that's also not going to be healthy. So I'm like, all right, take your time. I'm here. All right. 8 o'clock. Yep, still here. Nope. Take your time. We're good. I'm not hungry. Nope, not hungry at all. We're great. But yeah, that's my problem. That's what I got to deal with. Mm-hmm. I mean, she deals with it too because of, like she said, she reads body expressions and facial expressions.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'd be like, give me some excitement. Let me know that you want to do something. Like,
and me, I'm a man of action. If I'm going, then obviously I want to do it. It's like...
But that face, you have that face the whole time, which makes it seem like you're not having a good time.
I just wish we could do things without having to do things. You get what I'm saying, right? You get what they get me. You don't. They get me.
I don't. Because I'm just like, get me some excited about what we're going to do. We're going to do something. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. And then she gets mad because when we get there, I'm having a great time. And it's just like, why couldn't you give me this at the beginning?
Literally. No, but really though, like that's all. I just want you to be excited. Give me excitement as we're walking up the steps to the store. Don't give me excitement once we cross the threshold. Like, because I'm pissed off because we done been quiet the whole ride there. Your quietness and your aura, I'm reading your aura and it's like, it's telling me that I don't really want to be here, but I'm doing it.
Not to read my aura and just see what I do.
Yes.
I'm contradicting.
Extremely.
Because I just don't like doing things. And I'm just like, but once I'm there, I'm going to have a great time.
Once you're there, you're going to have a great time. Have I ever steered you wrong?
No, but I also have to drive. And you know I don't like that. That's my thing. I have a lot of issues. Don't worry about me. She married me, not y'all. Y'all fine.
Yeah, and if we keep going down there, we'll be down here forever. Because like I said, I be even offering to drive. And people be like, I'll drive. And be quiet the whole drive there. And I'm like... I offered to drive. I be trying to do stuff. I know, but I be trying to do stuff that like gets you excited to like what's the word? Some consolation prizes. Like at least you don't have to drive. You gotta go, but you don't have to drive. You get tipsy while you're there. I'll drive. Like I be trying to do stuff to motivate him to go.
She does.
And he just be like, I'll drive. And we'll be quiet the whole way there. And then as soon as we get there, we're having a great time and it's fun. But I
have to get in the mental headspace to have a good time. It takes me a bit because
why do you
I'm
have to
expecting
get there? You should always be in the mental headspace to have a good time.
Because you know what makes me have a good time? Sitting on that couch.
But yes.
So, what is a lesson that you have learned so far from our relationship?
That my issues are not necessarily his issues. Like I said, I have struggled. I am working on maintaining my mental health. I have a lot of anxiety about everything going on, everything at all times. So I have learned that, because just because I perceive things a certain way, that's not necessarily the truth. And I have to do the work sometimes to uncover the truth of the situation and not just rely on my feelings. So I'll have a problem with something and I'll be upset, thinking it's the end of the world, stressing over it all day. And
I feel auras. So she's walking around this house and you can feel that it's not a normal day. And I'm just like, okay, all right. I'm not gonna. Nope, don't ask. Don't. She's not ready. When she's ready, she'll come. Okay, but you can feel it. It's palpable.
But I have learned that it's a lot easier to just come to him and ask him what's up, say something about it in the moment versus letting it fester and coming to my own conclusions. That's why I say my issues are not always your issues. Because I'll be upset about something. I will make myself upset about something, and then it's just like once I come to him and talk to him about it, finally at the end of the day after I've been obsessing about it for hours, it's like nothing near what I have made it out to be at all. Rarely ever. So that's my lesson. What's one lesson that you think you've learned throughout this whole thing? The 10, 11, 12 year. Y'all keep track of time.
That feelings aren't just feelings.
Elaborate.
Well, she would like me to verbalize how I'm feeling. Like, I don't know if I said this before, but growing up, feelings were just that. You felt them and you moved on. But she's not that type. She will ask me, how are you feeling? I'm like, I'm good.
Meanwhile, I can see the expression on his face.
Meanwhile, early in the day, she probably felt like something was wrong or that I was upset or that I was stressed. And I'm like, yeah, at the moment, I felt that and I moved on. I think yeah, it's that feelings. She would like me to verbalize feelings, but
I think that also, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead. Because I got to think.
Oh, I was going to say, I think that also plays into my lesson of my issues aren't necessarily your issues. Because, like, like I said, I will feel like, I feel Peter's feelings for him. So I'll feel like, oh, if I do this, Peter's going to be annoyed. Or I'll feel like, oh, because that happened, Peter's upset. Or, Peter seems a little frustrated and quiet today, so I'm going to stay away. But if I actually like talk to him and ask him about it, he's just like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm just quiet. I'm just chilling.
I have days like that.
Literally. And it freaks me out because I'm like, I mean, and it's not like, you know, you walking around mean mugging me in the house or something, but it's also just like, it's quiet. I don't feel the rambunctiousness that I usually do.
I'm not rambunctious. I don't like that word. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. If somebody's knocking at our door, they'll get over it. Express your feelings. So, like she says,
he had to learn how to express his feelings.
If I wake up and I don't feel like talking, and I just say, hey, I'm just don't feel like talking today. Or if I wake up and I'm depressed. My thing about depression is I don't have ever verbalized depression, so it's not like I can say, hey, I'm feeling a little depressed today. It's not about you. It's just me. It's going to take me a while before I actually say that when I'm in the moment. I can say it now because I'm not. But when you're actually in that moment, it's not really something you want to express. You just want to get out of it. But yeah, expressing those things, let her know that it's not her, that it's just me. So she doesn't go off on her, roller coaster of thoughts and imaginations.
And that whole carry me to the moon.
But yeah, other than that.
Also, that communication doesn't have to be long, stressful, drawn out. Like I said, I have stopped feeling Peter's feelings for him and anticipating what I think the situation is. And I've just been like, okay, here's how I'm feeling. Tell me the truth in it. Or like, even when I get carried away, one of the things that I really appreciate is that I can come to Peter and be like, and I chuckle because literally the other day, like, I came in the kitchen and I was just like, looking around. And Peter was like, you having one of your moments? I was like, yeah, I'm having one of my moments. Just like, just tell me you don't want me to do anything. You're not pissed off that I'm not cleaning. Like, he'll be like, no, I'm not pissed off that you're not cleaning. I'm like, all right, cool. And it's just...
See, that's the double-edged sword about living with Ron. I grew up in a house where we did everything, so if it was up to me, I'd do everything. But then she would also sit on the couch and feel like, I'm not doing anything. I'm a bad wife. I'm just like...
Because you're raised to be taught that, like...
If I'm doing something, I just want to do it.
I know. Yeah. It's just, yeah. So, definitely unlearning all of the things that I have learned and internalized throughout the year. Not throughout the year, throughout all of my years of life. And just opening your mouth and communicate and stop trying to anticipate people's feelings.
All right. Is there anything you want to leave the people with?
Stay tuned for the rest of the marriage series. I like to call it, so like, okay. So you know how like Cards Against Humanity has like the black deck, the green, or the black pack, the green pack, all this other stuff. I'm going to call this moving forward the marriage pack. So please stay tuned to see all the rest of the cards that unfold out of the marriage pack.
It's been real, y'all.
Bye.
Hey everybody, co-host Peter stopping by to say thanks for watching and to let you know if you like this video, check out last week's video and the playlist with all of our episodes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when our vlogs, podcasts, and gameplays drop. It's been real, y'all.